Powered by Bernie and Phil's Furniture.
Get your list delivered. Now
So at 6:03 p.m., I will open tonight's meeting of the Capital Planning Committee, Wednesday, December 28th, 2022. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and may be broadcast live over the Lunenburg Public Access channel and on Facebook Live on the Public Access Facebook page, and will be uploaded to Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting has concluded. To join the meeting remotely via Zoom on any of your smart devices, tonight's webinar ID is 737-0353. If you wish to join by phone, the number is 888-475-4499. Once again, the webinar ID is 792-737-0353. The posted agenda lists all the topics which may be discussed at the meeting and are those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by open meeting law. Seeing as this is a remote meeting, I will call to order in roll call. Mr. Beardmore.
Here.
Mr. Passios.
Here.
Mr. Brenner.
Here.
And I, Tom Alonso, am here, absent, at least at the start of the meeting, George Martin. Any public comment from the members? Seeing none. Any public comment from the public? Seeing no hands raised or no voices. So gets to the topic at hand, which is upon reviewing these, I realized that if people reviewed what we had approved at the December 14th meeting, because there were duplicate rankings and there were gaps in rankings, especially since we took out the Flat Hill construction drainage project, that it would may be confusing to people, and it may also change the rankings if people shifted their other items up or remove the duplicate rankings. Now, there's nothing in the procedures to say you can't have duplicate rankings, but I thought it just made it cleaner if we didn't do that. So this would give everybody who saw the final, and that was the reason for this meeting. So it was an opportunity just to everybody to give one last go over, rank everything from 1 to 29 in the projects, and then we would do the final ranking. Everybody provided those to me. I have put them, let me share my screen. Where is my, I haven't used. Where am I looking here? Oh, there it is. Sorry. I'm going to start with this is what we started with, what we ended with last time. This screen. Can everybody see the screen?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. So this was the ranking that we had as of the close of our last meeting on the 14th. If I did rankings, there were some, like I said, there were gaps, there were duplicates. And again, it was totally within his right, but Dave did a whole re-ranking of his. So actually, it's actually good that we did this last meeting because his changes made, I don't want to say significant, but they made noted changes in the rankings overall. So when I added all the new changes in that everybody provided me, let's stop this share and let's share the other window. And this is what the ranking is. Can everybody see that?
Yes, again.
Okay, so we have, so basically of the differences, the major differences, like number 1 changed, number 2, what was number 2 last time, number 1 and number 2 change positions right at the top. Not that it matters because we're certainly gonna get more than down to number 2. But when we get to the middle of the list, especially when we get to like this line, the TC Passios right here, the Ansel inspection, that was up significantly from before. Some of the middle things did change, but this is the ranking. Now I want to do a sanity check. So live, I'm going to rank, I'm going to basically sort these. Yep. Ascending, going down. Okay. I just want to make sure that we can look. So this is Mr. Passios' rankings from 1 to 29. And I just want to make sure that I didn't miss anything. And we'll do this for everybody here. George still had something in. George still had the removed Flat Hill as 25, and I was going to make sure it was okay with him, but I basically just bumped the last 5 up a number, which I assume would be fine with him. It's also the 5 last ones, and it's not going to make that much difference at that ranking. Here is Matt's. And I'm just looking to make sure everybody has a chance of looking at them. If I'm going too fast, please let me know. Peters. And mine. It's kind of interesting scoping it like this way. You could see what I ranked something and where it eventually ended up. So it's kind of an interesting thing. Interesting data exercise. And these are the final scores as they were. So does anybody have any questions, comments about any of these changes? I mean, like I said, the top 10 pretty much came in pretty much the same. The bottom 10 probably came in pretty much the same. It was the middle 9 that really had some change of scope because of the scoring.
I just have one comment, just so
Sure.
that you're all kind of aware of my thinking on this. I think this represents good work, and I will again vote to support it. One area that I have an interest as a school committee member, but also the logic continues not to sit well with me, is the middle school, high school turf field feasibility study relative to the work at McNally Park. And my logic on that is that, while both of these properties are currently functional, and there's no question as to what they will be used for in the future. McNally Park will continue to be a baseball field, and the middle school, high school complex, the track field complex, will continue to be a football, soccer, lacrosse track complex. McNally Park, with the exception of the building on that property, is not degrading significantly over time. It can continue to be used 10 years from now, just as it's been used for the past 50 years of my lifetime, in the same capacity without this project. And I don't feel the same about the track field complex. I think that the evidence of the last several years is that the issue with that property is accelerating, and the costs associated with remediating it as a result of that may well also be increasing, although we don't know until we do the engineering work on that. And looking at the numbers and the total expenditures associated with in particular, the top 10. I think that the line here, if we fund this in proportion to what we funded last year, the line is going to be, somewhere around 14, 15, 16. And this will, this may sit outside. And so I view that as problematic. And while I will vote as a member of this committee to support this because of the work we've done, I think that there remains work to do on this on behalf of the finance committee, the select board, and the town manager.
And I hear you, and I don't necessarily disagree with you. I put them right next to each other. I was just looking where everybody else rated them. So I put them next to each other. I do think they're important. I will say at one note, and this is by no means a foregone conclusion, but if you've tuned into the select board meetings, I've made it a very strong case that we should definitely do what we discussed at our meeting. And I know that you push for very, very strongly, Mr. Beardmore, about putting the rescue one as part of the ARPA money. That would take 500,000 off this and allow us to get much further down on the list. And I believe that there is some interest in that. Again, it's not a foregone conclusion, but I really want to see that happen for two reasons, mainly because of the lead time. It gains us 5 months of order time than waiting for town meeting. And then, of course, it does free up the rest of the plans that, some of these wouldn't, any of these could be covered by ARPA money officially, but that one is a big ticket item that we really should be doing that way. So, but I hear your logic, and I don't disagree. I think you're right. The impact of not doing the turf field is a higher impact if something does fail than McNally Park. I don't know if any of the other members have anything. Dave, you're doing your best Kilroy is here imitation here. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Tom, if I could. Dave
Sure.
Passy. I don't totally disagree with that. I mean, if I had been able in my mind to take all of the projects in the middle, or most all the projects from, let me see, from 11 through about 20, give or take one or two of those projects, I would have put them at the top just because of the dollar amount. But I could not push them above the security upgrades at the schools. I just couldn't do it. It's tough that we're going to eat up, a lot of the money this year for those projects, but they need to get done. The other thing is that, as was mentioned, the ambulance has a couple of possible funding sources, and it's basically up to either the Board of Selectmen or the town manager. And I sent a personal note to the town manager stating that I didn't mention ARPA because that's going to go whatever which way it goes. But it's my feeling that if we push to have the ambulance paid out of the Special Purpose Stabilization Fund, then we should, not necessarily, but we should be able to move much further down this list. Thank you.
Yep. Cool. All right. That was all that was on for this agenda item. So if anybody has any comments, final comments, this would be the time. Otherwise, I would accept a motion to approve this final one, which is now called, called Rev B, Composite Rankings Rev B. I'll put the date on it. Well, I'll leave it as Rev B, but I'll send it to the town manager. So she'll have it, and we'll still have met our deadline, which is good.
Yeah, Tom, is there any merit in rescinding the previous recommendation, or really no need to? Just asking.
What do you mean the previous, the one that she already has the one we got from last time?
I understand that, but in that motion, we made the recommendation based on that list.
You just move to supersede.
So, okay,
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
As long as there's something in this motion that, definitely and clearly supersedes the previous list. That's all I was trying to make a point about.
Okay, yeah. So would somebody like to make that motion?
I will move to recommend the capital plan ranking as presented to supersede the recommendation that we made at our previous meeting.
Second,
Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mr. Beardmore,
Aye.
Mr. Passios,
aye,
Mr. Brenner,
Aye.
and an aye for myself. So that passes unanimously. And I will send that over to the town manager at the conclusion of the meeting. Just housekeeping, we have minutes that were submitted to us by Amanda for November 30th and December 5th. The latest ones just came in for December 14th, so we'll have to meet, like we said we would, sometime in January anyway. But at least we can address those. Did everybody get a chance to read those minutes?
yes,
I did.
Yes.
Okay, so I would make a motion regarding the minutes of November 30th and December 5th of 2022.
I move we approve minutes from November 30th and December 5th.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, Mr. Beardmore,
Aye.
Mr. Passios,
aye,
Mr. Brenner,
Aye.
and an aye from myself. So that passes unanimously. Proposed dates for and action items for next meeting. It's really unknown at this point, so I will try to, when something comes up, I don't want to have it just for the minutes. So if the town manager in the middle of the month has any questions about anything, I will let everybody know, but we'll have at least one meeting sometime in January. And I will communicate, I'll ask for dates when that is, but I can't do it right now. She hasn't even begun to do the budget, so that's going to be the first thing.
Tom, did we get a memo from Elaine on deadlines for submissions for the town report? I saw that, and I don't remember what the dates were.
Okay, I'll try to follow up. I mean, you can also just email her if you'd like. I mean, I can do it as chair, but
It's in my mail somewhere, I just would have to reread it.
yeah,
know
okay.
what-
I don't have that in front of me on this computer that I'm on tonight,
Yep.
so.
Does
but I
the,
can go find out.
does the capital planning committee normally submit for the town report?
Well, that's what you were saying. We do, but it has been written for the capital planning committee. The capital planning committee didn't read it.
So to be
And-
clear, this time of year, we typically get committee chairs typically get requests for the town report
Yes,
versus the town warrant, which is what I was referring to in previous.
oh,
meetings.
okay, gotcha.
So,
gotcha.
so my concern is not at all with the town report, it's very much the town warrant.
Yeah, I think that for us, it's going to be, those two things probably are pretty much identical.
But the way they work is the town report typically is done in arrears at the end of the year.
Right, retrospectively, yes, I get it, yes. So yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about the one going forward for the warrant, yes.
The warrant, right, yeah.
Because we only do one, and the one that goes into the warrant should be the one that's also in the town report, because there would be no other work that we've done since then.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, any public comment? Let me stop sharing this. Any public comment, final comment from the committee member? Oh, hold on, we have George. George?
I'm still showing 4.
It's not showing on. Oh, there he is.
Yep.
There he is.
Are you there, George?
It's an A for effort.
I was gonna say. George? George?
His audio's connected anyway, he's just muted.
Yeah, you may be on mute, George. I'm not sure if you can hear us.
Maybe microphone muted as opposed to software muted.
Yeah, well, he is software muted.
Oh, it is? Okay.
While we're waiting, just an issue that Tom got in an email today, if you saw it, Tom. We all received an email from the town manager following the last meeting about the boundary on the TC Pasio's Eagle House property. And I raised to the town manager that I was actually involved in a conversation yesterday with the skate park kids. I'm doing some work helping them work on some public speaking that they're scheduled to do. And it came up through the course of conversation on site selection that boundary had actually been discussed with parks commissioners back during the discussion around where to site the skate park. So suffice to say, this issue of a decision that was made at a town meeting in 2016 and not recorded with the Registry of Deeds has now led to at least 3 misinformed discussions at public meetings over the last couple of years. So in my mind, the Registry of Deeds are the documents of record, and
I think I'm
we should
muted now.
probably be cleaning that up.
Yep. I agree with you, and that has been probably longer than 3 years, probably been a long time coming ever since that stopped being a school parcel, and then some of it was transferred over to the Board of Selectmen, or then the Board of Selectmen, now Select Board, and some of it was just buildings and property lines, and so it's like, yeah, we really have to clean it up, and I couldn't agree more. George, are you with us?
He's still muted. Ah, there he is.
Yeah, hi, guys.
Okay. Well, you got us just at the tail end because we were waiting, but then we went on with the meeting.
Okay, yep. Sorry for being late. I couldn't find the
No.
link to get in.
No problem. So everybody submitted their things. The one thing, and I'll show you just out of note here, we'll show you the final rankings. So these were the final rankings of everybody. So some things changed, but mainly the stuff at the top 10 stayed the same for the most part. The bottom 10 did, the middle ones swapped spaces a little bit. And when you still had one ranked, the Flat Hill construction, George, because we voted that off. So I moved all your requests from 26 to 30 to be 25 to 29. Are you
Oh,
okay with
okay.
that?
Yeah,
Okay, so other than that, these are the final rankings. We had just voted to unanimously of the 4 of us to send this over, unless you have objection, but to the town manager as the new final, rescinding the old one that we did a couple weeks ago.
yeah, I don't have any objections to what I'm seeing.
Okay,
Tom, if you
Perfect.
email this final list to everybody,
absolutely, of course. When I send it to the town manager, I'll send it to everybody.
great.
So, and then George, we approve the minutes, and then there'll be a date in January that we'll meet at some point, some date to be determined, but we don't know right now and if the town manager has questions for us or we have questions for her, seeing how she does the budget and if she renumbers any of these, and which of course is her prerogative, but I think she's trying to avoid that, especially with the conversations we've had in the past meetings. So I was just
Okay.
asking if anybody had, any of the members, we were at the point of the final public comment, if any committee members had any final comment. Hearing none, there's no public. So I'll ask for the public comment, and I feel badly that Rhonda did not join us today. She missed the perfect record. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Or a
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All's in favor, Mr. Beardmore,
Aye.
Mr. Passios,
Aye.
Mr. Brenner,
Aye.
Mr. Martin,
Aye.
and an aye for myself. I wish you gentlemen a very happy New Year celebration. It sounds like it's gonna be a rainy and windy one, but still, it's a good way to blow out the old year and blow in the new one, I guess. I'll
Happy
talk
New
to you
Year.
guys in, happy New Year, and I'll talk to you guys in the new year. Have a good night.
Take
Aye.
care, everybody.
Bye.